moment. I don't know. All right, so we'll do a
Maybe
15 by
one.
10. I think that maybe they're just in mine. I have a lot of new usernames in mine,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and hi,
yeah. I'm
new
seeing some new
people.
folks in mine too.
I think I'm just
Uh,
gonna do a 15-10 rather than trying to.
yeah, 1510's great. Let me I need to go back to your user. Hey, Thinker Teacher. This is Clossius, who is a very strong Go player who's picking up chess. So I think we're going to play one more game of chess, and then I'm trying to pick up Go. So
And
the tables are going to be turned,
I will
and
be
he's going to be
teaching the
reviewing my shitty Go games.
I will be teaching the rules of Go, so that will, anyone, even
Yes.
if you don't know how to play, we're gonna start by explaining how to play the game, so that way everyone can follow along. Because I know you definitely have the rules down right now. But I want to make sure that everyone can be on the same page when we
Yeah,
start going into
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
I
Okay,
think
let me
you've been
get back.
improving at Go faster than I've been improving at chess.
We'll see. I mean,
Wait, what?
last night I don't know. I felt
Okay.
like I was playing well for a while, and then I felt like I started playing terribly. So I guess we'll see.
Well, it's probably just because you played for so late in the night.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like you
So
got another game going.
there,
Sorry, I'm jumping in
there.
now. Ah, so he's playing a common opening that I don't know at all, but I'm sure a lot of folks in my chat know this opening.
Oh, what the crap do I do? Okay, so he's threatening a pawn. I'm defending that pawn though. Uh, um, I'm just gonna activate a bishop. I don't see anything. Oh no, because that blocks a pawn. So I'm gonna move this pawn up. That way I can free a bishop.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know the theory here. This is a common.
Well, thank you, Akash, for the follow. Welcome to the Clossy Club. Converting all the chess players to Go players. My master plan is working. Uh,
Yeah, people in my chat, you can probably tell me, but I think taking the pawn is would have been the more common move, right?
but that was a pawn for a knight, right? Oh no, I get his knight too. Oops,
Yeah.
my bad.
No, I'm saying not in this position. Now you want to save your
Yeah,
knight.
no. I know.
Yeah.
So if I move there, knight, boom, boom, and now I can't capture it. But if I move to b4, he's gonna kick me out with one of the pawns. And then what's my follow up? Uh, uh, I think I done goofed. Ooh, I have a plan. It's a bad plan. I'm gonna do it. I think I'm losing, so I'm gonna try to be fancy and clever.
Ooh.
I'm gonna try to be clever because I think I'm behind a little bit.
I think this was too soon to start playing that way. I mean, I think you were worse, but not as it was too soon to be giving up a piece.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. I mean, it's there's still a lot of pieces on the board, so it's not over yet by any means, but
I don't have a choice,
it's
dude.
it's pretty rare that you want to be down a piece.
If I'm completely honest, I misread it.
Yeah.
If I'm being
Well, that happens.
honest.
That's okay. That's totally fine.
Okay, well, I'm losing.
But again, you're down one piece and all the other pieces are still on the board. So um, if you can get your pieces active, if you can generate threats, I mean, you don't have to go all out just yet.
Okay, and you said trading
There's
bishops for knights is not good.
right.
Whale. Whale.
And in general, you don't want to trade pieces at all because you're already down a piece. So the fewer pieces that are on the board, the less attacking chances you're going to have, and the more likely he's going to beat you in an end game.
Okay.
And let me know if
Okay.
I'm talking too much. I don't want to distract you.
I know you're good. The cat's more distracting me than you are.
Oh, okay.
She wants pets. Okay, so I move. He takes. I take. He takes. I take. He takes. Dang it. So he's got 3 pieces on that square, and I only have. No. I have a pawn. Okay. Reread that. So
I
I
just
go.
I just remembered I gotta go do something real quick, but I'll be back in like 1 minute.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So doot, 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 doot. Haha. So I can do it, right? I hope I'm right. He's a thinking. He's a thinking. Wait, what? Oh, did I miss that? Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm back. Let me see what
I'm
moves
I
what I
miss I
missed.
missed the piece. I missed the capture. Er...
Oh well, this isn't too bad.
Oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Okay, so he's looking at that one, which is hanging. That one. That one. And that one. Those two are defended, so I just have this pawn right here. Hmm. How do I defend this pawn?
Oops.
I feel like I'm in a terrible position. Wait, I can just move the pawn. Why didn't I consider that? Okay, so let's say I move the pawn and then he jumps in. Then my queen is targeted. That's targeted. That one's defended. So I can just move the queen out of the way. Yeah. But if I move the pawn, then he can start trading crap. If I move the pawn up, he takes. I take. He takes. I take. He takes. That's not good. Da, 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 da. Okay, but if I take this pawn and he takes that pawn, that should be an even trade. No, because that knight's defending that pawn. I don't know how to defend this pawn. Okay, so that pawn's got to go. So I need to worry about this pawn. So what if I don't know what to do. Let's just go here.
Yeah, it was a tricky pawn to defend.
Let's go, players. Don't get fancy, Clossy. Hi, Peyton.
I think your move's okay.
Yay. Mhm. And then I just moved this up, I believe.
Thinker Teacher, that's his Twitch name too. Clossius. He's both.
Yeah.
He's Clossius everywhere.
You
At
can
least
watch.
everywhere that I know of.
You can watch the multi-stream.
Yes, and there's a multi Twitch, which I don't know exactly how all that works, but
Um. Um. Hold on. Dude. Multi. Twitch.
are you gonna post it in my channel? Because I need
Yeah.
to I need to. Did I VIP you yesterday? I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
Hold on.
then I think you can post.
Gotta
it.
get the cat out of my arm now. Why do I keep? Why doesn't it work? Whatever. Can someone type it for me so I can copy paste it? My command isn't working for some reason. I must have misspelled the command. Oh, it's multi-stream. Copy. And then in your chat. And we are just going to... Okay, got it. I got the rules. I know the terms of service. I don't, but you know, who cares?
God, it got deleted.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I got deleted. I always get blocked in your chat. I get banned in your chat more than anywhere else.
Okay, thanks, Alonzo. You can think about chess. We got it.
Okay. I don't know if that's good. Wait. Doot. Haha. Wait, it's no, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I can do this because I have a knight.
Very good. I think you could have taken with the knight also, but both moves work.
Oh yeah, because the bishops. You said bishops are more valuable than knights. Oops.
Thanks, Squirrely. I'm going to give full credit to Clossy for it. I mean, this was completely his idea, but I've been enjoying it so far. Hopefully, the go part's going to be fun. Although I'm going to be embarrassing myself, I'm sure.
Yeah, they wanted. Whoa.
It'll be fun. Whoa. Okay. Now we're talking. Now we got some good stuff.
He didn't. I don't know what that was. He didn't see his knight or my knight.
He forgot your knight. I think he thought that you were just going to trade queens. Yeah, Squirrely, it is kind of nice that I get a little bit of a break while we're doing the chess portion.
Okay, so he's targeting my queen because my queen has the what do you call it? King holding it in place or whatever. What is that called? Would they attack a piece that's right in front of your king?
I don't know if I know what you're thinking of. I mean, I know what you're saying. I just don't know that there's actually a word for it.
A pin.
Pin, yes.
He's trying to pin
you are in a bit of danger here because of this pin.
But I'm going to
this idea of a pin.
I'm going to do this.
Yep, that's exactly what I would have played. Well, yeah, I mean, this is a really rare instance where he can answer your check with a check, but I don't think it's such a big deal.
He can? What?
Yeah.
How does he answer?
We'll see if he finds it.
Check.
Well, he has to get out of check.
Oh, not on this turn. Okay.
No.
I was like,
turn.
what? What magic sorcery are you about to see?
you're. I meant exactly what you thought. He can get out of check and put you in check in one move on this turn.
Oh, you meant my move.
No, I mean, okay, he didn't find it. We'll talk about it after the game.
Okay. I have no idea what you're on about. How do I get the horse and bishop out of my crap? I can move that pawn up. And he can move his knight to that square, which targets the queen. So he can move his knight. Oh, I can still be pinned. I can still be pinned. That is bad. Dang it. Ah, that bishop and knight's messing me up. Oh, you were talking about moving his knight in front of my queen, because that would counter check.
Yes. Yes. Correct.
Okay. I gotcha. Okay, I need to get this queen out of here because his knight and bishop keeps pinning my king. Okay, so it can move there, there. That means I can't move the queen there, but I can move it there. Oh, what do I do? Why did I get this queen out of here? Let's see. That square. What if I just move the queen down to e7? If I move it down to e7, no, that's blocked by the knight. Dang it! Oh, forget it. I don't know what else to play. Oh, wait. No. I'm still good. I don't see anything. Yeah,
he actually has a really good move here.
Ah, there's
sure
still a
find it.
freaking. There's a. I don't know. I don't think this is a turn, but he can still get my queen.
Yes, he can. What move are you seeing?
E5.
Yeah, knight to e5 is a good move for him. He didn't find it, but you're still in quite a bit of danger. That looks like a good move to me. Yeah, so this tactic that he has lined up is called a discovered attack. So when his knight moves, there's a discovered check from the bishop on the king. So essentially his knight's getting 2 moves. He's getting a free move with his knight.
Okay, so I should just move my
because you're gonna have to respond to the check.
I should just move my king, but I can't.
That's the problem. This is sort of an interesting position where the only legal move your king has is still you're still lined up for the discovery. Yeah, Majestic Corgi, he can't go to that square because the knight's attacking it.
I mean, that helped a little bit. Alright, if I take this pawn, is there still a discovered blasted attack? Because this discovery crap... Listen, I never liked the Discovery Channel. I mean, some days I had a mood for it, but usually no. Okay, I think I'm good.
Yep.
Alright, so now he doesn't have the dark squares. Now I can move this guy out. No, I can't. No, I can't. Because if I put him in check, he'll just move a pawn up. And that's protected by both the knight and another pawn. Alright, I want to move my rook to d1, but I can't. How do I get those things out of there? I need a fork or a discovery as well. How do I do? How do I do? Ooh, what about crap? B6 still gives some discovery, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Because yeah, I'm good.
Oh,
That works, right?
I think so. It looks good to me.
Uh-huh. And then I move a pawn. Man, that took forever. They were annoying. Oh, crap. That pawn
Yeah,
was
unfortunately,
that pawn was
unfortunately, that
stupid.
pawn was not well enough supported.
That pawn was stupid. All right, I'm getting on a dark square. I want to get on a dark square. Okay. Oh, I should have castled.
Well, you're actually it's not legal to castle when you're in check.
Wait, you can't?
Yeah, when you're in check, or you can't move the king through a square that would be in check.
Oh,
So if you're, yeah, you actually were not legally allowed to castle in that position.
I had no idea.
Yeah, that's an important one to know.
Uh, okay. This is really dangerous because my queen's on the line of his king, but I can't get the bishop or knights at the moment. Ooh, I know. I have a move. I have a move to break that little formation apart. I go here. Well, there went that idea. Crap, my pieces are all trapped. I'm gonna do the bishop cheese flank thing.
The fianchetto.
Yeah. Gonna be the French bishop.
Actually, the French bishop refers to something else in
Oh
chess,
my
so
god.
so you can't use that one.
Fine. The cheese flank bishop.
Yeah, there's an opening called the French defense, and you have a bishop that gets not so great, and it's called the French bishop.
Only there's a Japanese word for it, right? Yeah. Oh, shout out. Shout out CL Smith 15.
I guess I should shout you out in my channel.
Well, someone requested it in
People
mine.
people need to know where to find you.
Let's just move this bishop. Well, hold on. Is there anything I need to worry about? I don't think so. Wait a second. Did he give me a free pawn? I think he did. Wait. Wait. I just realized. My rook. My rook is in a bad spot. I just not.
Okay, that rook has been hanging for like 5 moves, and neither player saw it. So.
Your chat must be yelling at me.
No, they're being polite.
I just noticed.
Yeah, you're quite lucky he didn't see it, because he would have a decisive advantage if he had taken your rook.
Whoopsies. Yep, we suck. Just throwing that out there. Tactics are more important than theory at this level. Being able to see captures, yeah. I mean, that's why I was doing the problems. That's why I do problems. I mean, I want theory and problems, so I can see captures and kind of know what to do with the pieces.
Yeah, whoever said that in your chat's absolutely correct. That at this level, tactics is going to decide almost every game.
Which Joseki is this? No, I don't think this is one. I mean, I think probably he needs it more than I do, right? Because he lost his queen super fast. But we both need it. Hold on.
Ooh. Unfortunately, he found a tactic this time.
Ow. Yeah. You know how I took that pawn? Mistakes were made. Oh my gosh. There's only one. I might lose. I'm up 3 pawns, yet I'm gonna lose.
Hmm. You're up 3 points at the moment.
Yeah, but as soon as he takes the queen, I'm now
Yeah.
losing by 5.
That's the problem.
I'm gonna
is
lose.
If he sees that, which he wouldn't have played knight c1 if he didn't see it. But he's blundered pretty badly already in this game, so I mean, anything can happen.
All right, where am I weak? Is anything weak? I don't even know. I can't even tell if anything's weak. Can anything be captured on this turn? I don't. He can capture a pawn. So I should move this rook up 1. So that way to defend that pawn. Is that even important? Will I give him a flank? Yeah, kind of, whatever. Who needs good strategy?
I think that's a better move than defending the pawn. I think that was a good move.
Yeah, he did move his horsey out, so now I can start attacking the center.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it, like, your threat was more important than his. Okay, you're low on time, so I'm not going to talk.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Totally planned.
This, no offense, but this game is like vintage low-level chess. Like, it's swung back and forth so many times. I mean, I'm sure this happens in Go too, but
I mean, I will say it can be stressful watching beginners play.
yeah.
When you like the more you know what you're doing, the more stressful it is to watch beginners play.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's definitely true of chess too.
What if I go?
Don't watch my games then, Jeg Harin plan. He said there's nothing more stressful than watching total. Okay, you got 5 seconds.
Oh.
Right.
I need the ear. I need the sound to tell me how much time I have.
Yeah, there's no countdown, unfortunately.
I don't understand. That's like a major oversight. There should be a countdown. At least it's sudden death or something, right? Should be a countdown saying like 10, 9, 8. I feel like it's a major oversight with the clock system.
It's funny, all the chess players that were watching Go yesterday were like super annoyed by the lady on OGS counting down.
Really?
Yeah. Very good.
See, I can't play a game without hearing the clock or I'll time out because I never look at the clock. I always listen so I can keep my eyes reading while I'm listening. And it uses like 2 senses at once. So I like trained myself to do that. So for me it's like really really hard to not have a clock. There's no bad side to this, right?
This is actually a super interesting endgame. Like, I don't know who should be winning. It's very close. You don't often see these types of imbalances at higher levels where one side has 2 rooks and one side has 3 minor pieces.
Um,
10 seconds. There you
yeah, you be my clock. 10,
go. Yeah.
9, 8. I will do so much better with that. I'm just going to keep trying to get pieces because I don't see an immediate checkmate. Because my rook, unfortunately, is buried.
You're probably not going to checkmate him. I mean, this is probably going to come down to who can promote a pawn.
Really?
Yeah, just because. Okay, I'm not going to talk during your turn. There you go. Yeah, I mean, when there's. You have 2 rooks, so you might can checkmate him, but the fewer pieces on the board, the harder it is to checkmate, for, fairly clear reasons, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is what would definitely count as an end game, and usually it comes down to who's going to queen their pawn first. Because once you get the extra queen, then you can checkmate pretty easily.
Okay, so I have a plan to get a queen then. It's horse, then bishop, then queen. That's my plan. Okay. First the horsey. Any downside? Oh yeah, time. I
Very
can't.
good.
I can't just think it through and then get my time back. That stresses me out
Very
so
good.
much that
I mean, now you should be completely winning.
it stresses me out so much that I can't just think through my moves and just still have time left
Yeah.
over. Okay. Whatever. Whatever. I don't know if I'm doing good or bad. I still don't know if I'm doing good or bad.
Just don't hang stuff. That's the most important thing.
I
Don't
want to
hang
look
things.
for I want to
Yeah.
look for like any sort of fork or magic thing that you said, but I can't
Right.
do it in enough time. Just get the bishop out.
Ooh,
Oh, dang it, mother
it's
flower.
okay. You're still completely winning.
Uh,
It's a little harder now, but you're completely winning.
I hate not being able to think. All right, so I get 10 seconds back, right? Two,
Yeah, you get 10
3,
seconds after every move.
4, 5. So I'm at least gonna think for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mostly, I'm just trying to see if there's any problems with my move before playing it. Okay. I don't know what to play. One. I'm scared. I'm gonna move it over.
No bouncing. This is Clossius playing a random person on Lichess that's around his rating.
Why? Oh, he gets my pawn. but I'll get your dude, and then I'll be ahead. If I get his horse, I think I can win. Stop it.
Those knights are tricky. Bouncing, I think we're going to do the Go section after this game. I think probably we'll review this game and then play Go. I think that's the plan. Don't hold me to that.
Seriously? Ugh. All right, I've almost got a minute back.
Yeah, that's at least good. I mean, you can take a little more time to think now. Good. You're in great shape now.
He just keeps check, and I can't do anything.
Right. Now his knight's far away, though, so you're going to have a bit of a reprieve. Yeah, very good. This is another one of those trade-offs. Like, he might be winning your pawns over there, but you're going to queen way before he does.
Yeah.
But this is kind of all he can go for at this point. Oh, sorry, bouncing. I think we're gonna switch to Go after we review this game.
Ooh, I have time now. Use it. But now I'm just like, get the queen, get the queen, get the queen, get
Yeah,
king.
I mean now you're completely winning, but I mean still think about your moves. Think what you're trying to achieve. But
I'm just thinking, get the queen.
Yeah, have you studied like basic checkmate pat? Like, have you studied how to checkmate with a king and a queen?
I'm not getting a draw. He's trying to.
He offered a draw.
He offered a draw.
Yeah, people do this all the time.
No.
All right, he resigned.
Yay!
I don't know why people do that, but people love to offer a draw like right before they know they're gonna lose.
Yeah, that's like stupid though. You're like, oh, instead of resigning, we're gonna try to trick you into a draw.
Yeah.
Rude.
Yeah, very good game. I mean, that was a really entertaining game just because both sides had a lot of chances. I mean, you found the moves that you had to find, and he didn't.
So I think the big thing to take away from this game is I need to see captures better.
yeah. I mean, the checks and the captures are the biggest thing that you're gonna have to work on. But that's everybody at your level. I mean, that's just how chess is. But there's a saying in chess that the person who wins is the one who makes the second to last mistake, and I think that like totally applies to this game. So I mean, you did a good job of not making a mistake at the end of the game and punishing his mistakes. So let's look at this game. There's a lot to look at in this game. This one was a lot more sharp than the previous game.
There's a lot of oops. I think a lot of like you could have captured here. For
Yeah,
the next 5
I mean
moves.
there were some kind of complicated tactics that that both sides missed. I think so. I'm gonna do another study. I'm gonna send you the link.
I feel like I missed like if capture is like the equivalent to an Atari, I think I missed Ataris like 5 or 6 times at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess a capture is roughly equivalent to an Atari. I guess an Atari is more like a threat, right? But
yeah,
it's similar.
You're about to lose some pieces.
Right. Similar thought process though. So, okay, I guess I'll send you this link on Hangouts, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know what's easier. I don't know if you still have Discord open, but yeah, I'm going to send the link on Hangouts.
Name, bring it over here. Pull it up here.
Yeah, Jeg Haran plan. There were a lot of tricky knight moves at the end of the game. Even in the middle game, there were a lot of tricky knight moves. This is why a lot of times, like I told you, beginners, or I said bishops are generally better than knights. A lot of beginners prefer knights because the knight has a lot of trickier moves, and the bishop's okay. He moves in a straight line on a diagonal. The knight's a lot trickier, so you will eventually get used to knowing
I mean,
like these are squares that the knight can fork. These are squares that the knight can get to in 2 moves.
yeah,
These are the squares they can get to in 1 move. Like you'll start to just see that stuff automatically.
yeah. Papa Snake, yeah, I know that's what Atari. I just mean I missed that I was about to be captured. I guess.
Right, yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is a very common opening. Um, again, I don't really know it at all because I don't play e4 as white, and when I'm black and they play e4, I don't play e5.
Oh,
But this
really?
is the Scotch game, which is very very common.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was pretty sure that black basically has to take, and you can see in the database like virtually all the games black's taking. And the reason is because of what happened in the game. When you didn't take, he gets to push his pawn to d5, and now your knight's unsettled, and there's not really a good square for the knight. So,
Ew.
I mean, you mentioned b4. You mentioned b4, but I think you correctly noticed that he can just push a pawn, one of these
Yeah.
pawns, and then the knight has to go to like a6, which is just ugly. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I agree that b4 is not a good option. I mean, I was thinking maybe the best is just to go to e7 and then g6 on the next move. Um, you really don't want your knight on e7 either because this knight might want to go to e7. This bishop might want to go to e7. So the knight's kind of just in the way
Yeah.
on e7. So I mean, that's why a lot of times when there's tension between pawns like this, um, when the pawns are attacking each other, I guess I should back up to when it was your move. You kind of have to calculate a few different scenarios. You have to calculate, okay, if I take, what's he going to do? You have to calculate if I ignore it and then he takes my pawn, what's going to happen? Or if I ignore it and he pushes, what's going to happen? So I think the last one is maybe what you didn't think about here, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean yeah, you're already in pretty rough shape, I think, at this point. Well, I mean, you definitely are here, but even at this point,
Isn't that bad, huh?
yeah. Okay, I mean, the computer's saying plus zero point 0.7. I mean, the computer in the opening isn't necessarily the most reliable, but yeah, I wouldn't be happy. I mean, white has a lot of space in the center, which is good. Your pieces are going to be awkwardly placed. Um, so yeah, I think you were correct to realize that your position is suboptimal here,
Mhm.
but um, and I think you said you just forgot that the pawn was attacking the knight,
Yep. Totally
but
forgot that little
yeah, yeah.
detail.
So I mean
I'm like,
that
okay, I'll
happens.
go here. He'll defend, and then I'll take his knight, move his queen out of the way, and then I can move my knight, and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. I forgot that he
Yeah,
gets
I
to
mean,
capture with the
bishop
pawn.
g4 it's a nice idea. I mean, you see this in a lot of openings where knights end up on c3 and f3 a lot, and then often, this bishop might pin the knight to the queen, this bishop might pin this knight to the king. So, I mean, this is a common idea in the opening what you did. It just you had a piece hanging, so you can't do it yet.
Oops. Yeah.
um
Oops.
but I mean, like I said, there's so many pieces on the board. This is a beginner game. Like anything can happen. It's far from over, as you saw. Um, okay, he attacked your bishop. You move back. I'm not sure, but I probably would have played bishop h5 because
Does
usually, when one piece is pinning the other, you want to maintain that
but
as much as you can.
wouldn't that help him develop his next pawn?
Well, that's sort of the question. Is he can play g5 or g4 to break the pin, and the question is that good or bad? Um, the thing is, when he does this, now he's not really safe to castle kingside because his pawns have all moved. Um, he might can castle queenside, but he's got to move all these pieces first, and you've also got the open b file, so his king might not be safe on the queen side either. I mean, that said, your bishop is getting kind of trapped here. I mean, he can even win your bishop right away for the knight. So I'm just not sure. I mean, I think what you did is okay. I think I mostly just wanted to point out this idea of just backing the bishop up, maintain the pin. Um,
Okay.
but I mean, yeah, I don't think what you did is like terrible or anything. Um, So knight c3 was played. Yeah, d5 unfortunately just gives away a pawn and gives his knight a lot of initiative. But yeah, I think the bigger problem than the pawn is just the fact that now his knight is all up in your face,
Yep.
and this pawn is very awkward to defend.
I feel like when I make a mistake, I immediately follow it up with more mistakes because I start losing track of stuff.
Oh, I hung a piece in my analysis, so sorry. He still could have played g4. Yeah, I forgot that he can't play knight g4. I hang pieces sometimes too. So okay, so in my chat, someone's asking if queen d6 works here. Um, yeah, I think queen d6 is probably okay. I think I would be worried that he's just gonna support this knight, maybe, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's tricky to defend this pawn. Queen d6 is probably fine. Let's see what the computer says here. I was thinking that the best plan. The problem that you have here is that your king is in the center of the board. You really want your king to get castled quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking the best plan was to defend your pawn with knight to e7, and then you could play g6 and make this structure and then castle.
Okay, that makes sense.
Um, because the knight here, I'm not sure you realize that there's that this pawn has a lot of pressure on it also. So this knight does a good job of defending both points. The problem is it's blocking this bishop, but you can get your bishop out this way. So I think that's how I would have approached this, but
Okay,
let's see what the computer says.
that's understandable.
Oh
Agree to
wow, it says white is totally winning. So I missed something. Oh well, white is up a piece. I forgot white's up a piece.
Yeah,
So
it's like,
yeah,
oh,
that
why
that
you should
evaluation
resign.
makes
That's
sense.
the correct move. Resign and go try again.
No, I mean, I know that's a joke, but please don't resign like at your level. Like
Yeah.
basically never resign. Never resign unless you are like 100% getting checkmated in a move or two. But okay, so you did this, which I mean, you're sort of saying, okay, you can take my pawn, but I'm going to develop my pieces and get active, which is fine. I mean, I think that's a good way to think about this. I think he didn't even take your. No, he did take the pawn. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't
Um, and now
realize this
queen.
pawn, and like, there's a lot I didn't realize. There's a lot of problems with
Yeah.
this.
So queen d7, I think looked good at first, but he found the issue with that. Often, I mean, this is sort of deeper, I guess, but when you line your pieces up on a diagonal or a file, I mean, you often have to think about how your opponent can hit both at once. So, I mean, already when your queen is on that square, he's got this idea of bringing his bishop to b5, and then, I mean, this is a big problem for black. I mean, um, maybe you can escape without losing material, but it's very, very dangerous. um, so yeah, I mean, I'm guessing. I mean, the thing is, if you go queen d6, then there's knight b5. I mean, this is why you're already in trouble because there's just not many good options. Um,
Yeah,
I guess maybe queen d7 even has to be played. I don't know if you can do something like queen c8, but let's see.
I'm just in a bad spot.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So it's saying either queen d6 or queen c8. Um, both are just completely lost. But luckily, he blundered soon and let you back in the game,
Yeah, that
which is
was
gonna
funny.
which is gonna happen a lot in your games. So, um, hey, what's up, Metal Eagle? We're about to switch to Go, I think. So I hope you're interested in Go. Yeah, and then I even for his level, I don't want to be too critical of the guy, but I was pretty surprised that he didn't see knight takes queen. But luckily, you saw it basically immediately. Um, and now he played bishop b5, which is a really nice move. Um, I think a lot of players will just immediately take the knight,
I think you
and
saw
then
that I
you're
would
sort of
capture with the queen if he takes.
yeah, and definitely that's what you should do. But I mean, bishop b5 is like the move to keep things complicated. I wonder how what this position even is. Yeah, so black's winning, but it's not like crazy winning. Okay, the more it thinks, the more it likes black. There's just so much. Yeah, see, actually, the computer's saying knight takes c3 is basically the only good move for black. In any other move, it's virtually equal.
Wait, but so that's just against the against the pawns and opens up the queen's movement.
So actually, the main idea with knight d3 is now okay. He has these knight moves that are scary. Like this one, it looks on the surface like okay, he's going to get your queen, but that's why your knight's on c3. Now you can just take the bishop. Um,
Oh.
at least I. Or wait, I'm sorry, that's not correct. You would take with the queen. But I think that's sort of the main idea of the knight to c3. Um, is now let's see what it suggests for him.
Yeah, and then he just
Yeah,
takes
I
with
mean,
the
you're
pawns.
basically forcing him to capture. Otherwise, you're going to get his bishop. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
And then my queen's free to start coming out.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like, so we kind of talked about in the last game, you were down material. How I said you probably don't want to trade pieces. You want to keep the pieces on so that you have attacking chances.
Mm-hmm.
This is sort of the same situation, but in reverse. Now you're up material. You've got a queen. He doesn't. Um, okay, he's got an extra knight and bishop for the queen, so it's kind of close, but you have a big material advantage still.
Yeah.
So
So trades are good.
trading's good for you.
Okay.
But I mean, this is a scary move. I mean, he's lining up a lot of scary stuff, and I mean, I don't.
I
It's
didn't
almost
see
tough.
the knight
It's almost
trade.
tough to play. It's almost tough to play knight takes c3 because it's easy to get really worried about this this discovery here.
I just didn't see
So
it.
yeah. So this move, the computer said was completely equal.
Really? He can take my queen though.
Well, no, not immediately. So what I was saying during the game was he could actually play knight e5. I don't know if it's a good move.
Why can't he play a d4 knight d4? Oh, he's in check.
Oh,
Never mind.
yeah, because he's in check. Yeah, sorry, this position got complicated. So yeah, he can't because he's in check. But actually, you like here, I think you saw that he could play knight d4, which is a discovered check, winning your queen.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
And then you concluded correctly that you needed to move your queen.
And then I moved into another
yeah,
spot.
and then unfortunately you picked a square which is also able to be attacked by the knight with a check.
Man.
So I mean, this is kind of what I was saying. Like once you've played a lot of games, you'll sort of instinctively know like, okay, the knight is going to be able to attack that queen in one move.
Yeah, I haven't done enough problems yet. I haven't gotten to
right.
that.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten to those
yeah.
problems yet.
Yeah. I mean, luckily for you, he didn't find it. And now I think Queen E4 check is a really good move because you're getting out of that. And this, when you're diagonally 2 squares away from a knight, like that knight's basically never going to attack you. He's got to make like 3 moves before he can ever, dream of attacking you. So that's like a really safe distance from the knight to be. And also, you're safe from this knight. The knight can't get to a square right next to it very quickly either. So that looks good to me. He blocked, and okay, you traded pieces, which looks good, unless he has some good discovery, but I don't see it. F takes, and yeah, and then you I think you debated whether or not you had time to do this check, but I think you absolutely do. I mean, it's tough to see at your level, but the knight, it doesn't have a good move where, okay, he has a discovered check, but he doesn't have a move that he's going to attack anything else. I mean, he can grab this pawn. That's like all he can do. So yeah, this was great. I mean, you're completely winning at this point. And you played Queen B6. Yeah, so I think you were really concerned about these pieces, which was good. And you were trying to sort of get rid of them. but I think I would have just moved this bishop maybe to either d6 or c5, because I think the bigger problem is that your bishop and your rook are trapped. You really want to develop those pieces and be able to use them.
Oh,
Um, but that would take a bit of recognition to know that he doesn't have any good tactical opportunities arising from this situation.
oh,
So let's see what the computer says here. I want to make sure I'm correct. Yeah, I mean it's suggesting a6, which okay makes a little sense, but then it plays bishop d6, um, and it says bishop d6 is the second move. Black's completely winning either way, but I think
yeah.
that's kind of how you should approach it. When you're up material, you're not in immediate danger. You want to just activate your pieces. But I totally understand why you were freaked out about these pieces. So, um, okay, so yeah, this, I mean, again, it's not bad. Um, yeah, he played the discovery, but there's not really, any good discovery he can do. You played king e7, which I didn't like, or oh, you blocked with the pawn, which I also didn't like because it just hangs.
I didn't
Um,
realize it was. I didn't realize it was hanging,
yeah,
or that he
yeah,
could just take, and I was like, oh yeah, that was stupid.
right. And then king e7, I didn't like because again, I want you to get your bishop out, and then when your
Mm-hmm.
bishop's out, your rook can come out.
So D1's better.
So moving the bishop seems incorrect. So yeah, I would have gone king d8,
But doesn't he get a fork?
and I mean you do have to.
Well, no, that's a fine fork.
I mean this one, if that's what you mean, you can just
Oh
take with
yeah,
the pawn,
yeah.
so no,
That's
no
also
issue
true.
there. The move I'm worried about is rook d1, um, but I don't know. I mean it gets this position's tough because it's so wide open. There's going to be a lot of tactics, but I think maybe you can just play king c7 and be okay. Let's see. Oh, I forgot your rook's hanging. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh
I
yeah,
forgot
that's
the rook. I
that's.
forgot the rook. I forgot the rook was hanging after all this. Yeah, that was actually the bigger problem with the pawn push.
Oh yeah, that pawn did hang that rug, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So if you just play king d8 now, then there's no problem. He can play bishop c6, but then you just move the rook. Um, so yeah, actually the pawn
It is a
push was
very
much worse
bad,
than I even realized.
very bad pawn.
Yeah. Yeah, Killer Ducky's right in my chat. He says problem is the situation is just too complicated for this level, and yeah, it is. You know, in an open position like this, it's going to get very complicated. Um, but luckily for you, he didn't notice that your rook was hanging for a long time either.
It's so funny.
Neither player realized for a while, which was kind of fun. Um, yeah, so you got to save your rook, but you didn't see it. So, um, yeah, and now I even kind of liked him not taking the rook because now there's threats of moving his knight with initiative. I mean, like he's getting his last piece into the attack. Um, so yeah, I thought White was going to win again at this point. So, and
Guess
yeah,
it's too
he's
slow.
actually completely winning now. It says, yeah, I mean, you're probably just going to get mated or something because your king's way out in the open. But he didn't. He didn't do it. He gave you another chance. You saw the rook was hanging. Oh man, yeah. I mean, this is just getting crazy sharp. Like, I wouldn't expect. Like, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm guessing just after bishop b5, he's got a really good move with his knight that's going to be problematic. But saving your rook's good.
And that was an
Taking the
oopsies.
queen, yeah, taking the pawn, you can't do. I think you just missed
I
the
just need
discovered
I need
attack.
more
Oh yeah,
discovery problems.
yeah. And I wanted to point this out to you. Um, your queen is lost, but you can get something for your queen here,
Oh
and it's sort
snap!
of a weird looking move.
E3, E6,
But
E6,
yeah, queen to e6, and he'll take with his knight, and at least oh
and then I get
shoot,
a
my
knight for it.
computer's getting real laggy. I'm going to turn off the engine. Yeah, so he can take with his knight, but at least you're going to get a knight. So I mean, you're still in big trouble here. You're down a piece, but
That makes
it's
sense.
it's better. At least you're getting something back. Um, okay, he took the queen, and now I mean he should just be totally winning. In fact, I'm trying to remember how he even managed to get into the situation he got in from here. Um, you developed your bishop attacking his knight, which was good. You defended your pawn, which was good. Um,
And then my king got in a little cool spot there.
yeah, I mean this looks kind of crazy because I mean there's still a lot of pieces on the board, and your king's way out in the open. Thinker Teacher says King C5 was brilliant, and I kind of agree because the thing is, even though it looks really insane for your king to be in the middle of the fray like that, you're putting pressure on 3 of his pieces, and none of them are hanging right now. But it's kind of easy for him to make a mistake. And in fact, you're already threatening something.
I
You're
think it's
threatening
because
Bishop.
I don't know to be scared of the with the king. I just like,
Yeah,
oh, king's like a powerful piece, right?
yeah,
Get to attack everywhere.
yeah. But you're threatening Bishop takes D3, and then if he takes with the pawn, now this knight can be captured. Um, So yeah, I mean, Thinker Teacher in my chat said King C5 is brilliant. It was a GM level move. Not kidding.
And I don't even know. I'm like, oh, cool. I can attack stuff. I think one thing I take from Go is that I always try to defend with a counterattack because in Go it's like the most
Yeah,
effective defense.
yeah,
So that's always like the
yeah.
first thing I look for when I'm
I
playing.
think no, I think that's very good practice. I mean, in chess, initiative is extremely important, and yeah, usually, if a counterattack works, that's preferred to just defending whatever whatever threat is there. Activity is really important. So okay, so yeah, King C5 GM move, and then he hung his rook, which was really helpful for you.
Yeah.
You saw the rook was hanging, and now it's like super interesting because materials like almost equal.
Can't he do a fork here?
Oh yeah, I did. Wait.
No, no, he can't because I'm defending it with the pawn. Never mind. I always miss that.
Oh right, I missed this fork. So there were so many tactics in this part of the game that I got confused. But I saw that he could have played this,
Oh,
which
that.
doesn't really work because you can just. Oh wait, you can't walk there. What am I talking about? Oh, let me erase all these if I can. But you can go here defending the bishop. What I didn't see was he also has this fork, which that's a bigger problem.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but luckily he didn't see that either. Yeah, and now he's still got these forks.
Then he did it
Okay,
again.
he took.
He lost both
Yeah, and I mean
rooks on the
he's.
same square.
Well, I mean actually, rook takes bishop isn't a bad move for him
Really?
as long as he sees that he can win his exchange back with one of these moves. Uh, um,
But if
but
he forks on the top, can't I
wait,
just
he dropped the rook.
move my king to defend my rook? Well, I guess rook.
Oh, Thinker. Okay, Thinker pointed out something I missed. I'm sorry. What was your question?
I mean, he took my bishop. I take his rook. He forks. I defend my bishop. He takes my bishop, and then I take his rook.
Okay, wait. I got
confused.
lost in all that. I think.
I got lost on my own thought. I'm sorry. How do I say? Okay. He go forward. He takes, and then
Okay.
I take. Then he
Yep.
forks.
Which one? Here or here?
Well, yeah. We saw that A6 is clearly better, but I'm saying if he goes D3, then I just go D6.
D3. Okay. Yeah, and
I
then you go
D6.
here.
Yeah, and then he takes, and then I take. And
Yeah,
it's still
and this
okay.
is like almost equal. I mean, I'm gonna guess the computer's gonna say maybe white's a little better.
Well, I have a rook though. Well,
So,
I guess he has two pieces, and I only have one active piece.
right. I mean, he has a knight and a bishop, which are worth 3 each. Your rook's worth 5. So, yeah, he's got to be better. And the reason is that he's got actually the C3 pawn. The C3 pawn's passed, um, which
Oh,
which means that there's no black pawn that is ever going to be able to like take it somewhere. Um, that's a really strong thing to have in the end game because that pawn's likely
yeah.
to queen.
I
Um,
remember reading that
but
somewhere.
it's probably close to equal. But yeah, I'm thinking white. Yeah, okay. So white's White's definitely got the advantage, but it's still very difficult.
He said
I mean,
someone said I could have taken the bishop and won a piece. How do I do that? You could have taken knight instead of taking knight with bishop and won a piece.
could have taken knight. Where?
I don't know. Someone just said you could have taken knight with bishop and won a piece.
Knight with bishop. Oh, I think he's talking about back here. Yeah, which someone pointed out in my chat, which I was gonna show to you.
Oh,
Although
I
I think maybe I'm
jittered.
still missing one piece of this because they're pointing out that here. Okay, he did. Wait, where was it?
So if I take right here, if I take the knight, like you said in the previous, like you said it before, if I take the knight, he
Oh,
takes, and then I can take another knight.
right. Yeah. Wait, thinker teacher, where are you saying he dropped the rook? Were you? Was there ever a moment where like this was an idea? But it's White's turn. Am I wrong? I don't think there was ever a moment. He did play it.
It's too complex. I'm noobing my way out of here.
I want to make sure that I'm not missing something. Because I mean, Tom's a good player. Bishop c6 takes rook e8. Oh, you hung your rook. I completely missed that. Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, you hung your rook.
Oh.
I completely missed that too.
I suck at this game.
I think I'm getting to the point where
I'm making you worse at chess. That's funny.
Yeah. So he's right. I completely forgot that or missed that rook was hanging.
I'm making everyone in the chat worse at chess.
No, I think it's just like just beginner games in general. Like
there's too much happening.
Well, yeah, and it's just like a lot of times in my games, if my opponent makes a move, I'm not usually thinking, oh, he just hung his rook for nothing. I tend to give my opponent some credit, like, okay, that move's not, just hanging a rook for nothing.
No, ghost coming.
So I'm not used to like seeing those moves on the board.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is like super interesting because it's 2 rooks versus 3 minors, which I don't think I've like ever seen in a game before. Yeah, and the computer says it's virtually equal if he plays one of these forks, which makes sense. And he didn't find it, but he's got another opportunity here. You took the pawn, which is great. Man, I'm gonna have to like second guess myself every move now because there's so much going on.
Way too much for me to handle.
Yeah, I mean, he hung the knight, which was also really nice for you. I think maybe he thought that you were threatening to take the bishop and then get the knight. But well, I guess you were threatening that, so never mind. Was there? Man, during the game, I thought I saw somewhere he could have saved this. He could have gone here if nothing else.
He can go a6.
He can go.
Oh yeah, that's like the only move, isn't it?
No, because then you take the bishop and then you take the knight.
Oh.
Maybe there is just nothing to do here. I was thinking maybe he could do this. But then...
I won,
oh, yeah, he can do this.
So I won because of my GM level move, basically.
Right.
King's the most powerful piece in the game, obviously. King and queen, anyway.
The king is actually very important to use in the endgame. I think he can do this, and now... whichever way you... like, you can take the bishop, but he's going to take this rook. Yes, Zeldrak, sorry, we're about to get to the go.
Oh, that is a nice fork, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oops.
But I want to make sure. I'm so lost.
Where's think you're lost? Try being the beginner.
Oh, okay. Tom's right as usual. If you play this fork, you have a move to get out because you have this check.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep. Okay. Anyway, we're coming up with into this game. So you got a knight. Now you're completely winning. 2 rooks versus 2 miners is completely winning in the end game. Um, yeah, and okay, yeah, this is all good. I think here you just weren't really sure what your plan should be, and that's totally
Well,
understandable.
my plan was to get b4 up without dying, and I'm just trying to stay
Yes,
around my rook.
yes. That I mean, that's absolutely what your plan should be. I mean, your first priority is don't hang a rook. Like, don't let his knight or bishop fork or pin you. Um, and your second plan is you want to run this pawn. You want to run it to b1 as quickly as possible. And actually, king b3 makes a lot of sense because what you would like to do often in these types of positions is get your king to the second rank. Because if you can imagine your king on a2, it controls these squares, and now you're helping this pawn. So, if you get your king there, you're really close to just being able to push the pawn all the way. Does that make sense?
Yes, that was that was pretty much my plan.
Yeah, I think
In dumber
uh,
words, that was my plan.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately here you just moved your rook to a bad square. But even now it's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
you're up a rook for a minor piece and you have a pass pawn in the end game. Like it's still completely winning. Um I wondered if you should have taken with the pawn just to get the pawn one square closer to queening, but taking with the rook means that his king is never going to get over here. Like your rook cuts his king off, which happens a lot in the end game. So now his knight is the only piece responsible. His knight's the only piece that can stop this pawn. So either way is probably completely fine. Yeah. I like taking with the rook now that I think about it more. I think that's simpler. So that's what you did. Yeah, I wouldn't do this move. A lot of times in games, checks are not correct. It's more about restricting where your opponent's king can move to, um, than it is about trying to check them or checkmate them.
Okay.
So here, I mean, I probably would have played
Would
like rook
in that
all the way
case
back to c8,
would d4
and
be good? No, nope, that's a fork. Never mind.
oh, very good. Yeah, yeah. d4 does get forked. You're probably still winning after the fork because the b pawn's really strong. It's really tough for him to stop it. Um, but yeah, I would absolutely keep your rook. Just keep your rook on this file where his king's never going to be able to get over and stop the pawn.
Actually,
So I mean, I would just play rook c8.
would d4 be good? Because if I go d4, he goes c2, I go c3, he takes, I take, and then my pawn's free.
I mean, he's not forced to do that. Is the
Well,
thing. Like he might want to, but he's not forced to. And I need to do a little calculation to make sure. I mean, this is completely winning. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, your king. The thing is, his king can't get over here quickly enough. Your king's going to box him out. I think. Let me make sure I'm correct about that.
I didn't consider the king
Yeah,
doing the king.
yeah. This is how the game would go. He could try to go here. Um, I think now you would. Yeah, you're going to go here, and then eventually you're going to do this, and then once you get your king here, he can't stop. He has no way to stop your pawn from making these moves.
Cool.
So yeah, this completely works. So I mean, if you had gone rook d4, it's a fine move because he can't take it. Is the long and the short. Like if he goes for this, taking the rook is just suicidal. Um, I mean, realistically, there's no way for him to not lose, but taking the rook is an easy win.
Cool.
But I think on principle, I would just bring the rook all the way back. Your rook's out of danger. His knight can't really attack you. You're cutting the file. Your pawn is, ready to go. Um, and in these types of end games, it's often useful to think about, um, can the knight fork my rook and my king? Well, if your rook and your king are far away, they're not going to get forked. Um, and also, here's a little trick that is useful, but you don't have to remember it. The knight can never fork two pieces that are on different color squares.
Really?
Yeah, because the knight can only attack one color square at a time. It's always attacking the color opposite that it's currently on.
That would help so much. Because I'm
So
like, I
yeah,
can't see
it's a nice
orcs with the knights.
yeah, it's a nice trick to help you realize what squares are going to be safe. So any light square with the rook is going to be safe.
What's a
And
squad mode? Someone said we're not streaming in squad mode. I don't know what that
I,
is.
I don't know how to do that. I think you might have to be a Twitch partner to do that, but I'm
Yeah.
not
Oh,
sure.
yeah. I think I remember reading something about how to make teams and stuff you have to be partner.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, all this is fine. I mean, you're not losing the game. It's just you didn't know the winning plan. But I mean, eventually you kind of just survived, and you kind of just got the position to where he no
Yeah.
longer had any threats,
Yeah. That was
which is fine.
that was
I
what
mean,
I do.
that's
Just
like you're
survive.
gonna if you do that, you're gonna win. Like sooner or later, he's gonna run out of threats, and you're gonna win.
Oh, my new
Um,
emotes are here.
oh, nice. So yeah, honestly, you might be a little bit lucky that he just resigned and didn't make you prove that you could mate him. But I mean, you would have gotten it eventually. It just takes some time. Um, you should definitely look up how to mate with a king and a queen, and how to mate with a king and a rook. Those
Oh,
two are really
yeah, I
important.
did. I've done those.
Oh, okay, good,
Three
good.
three times I think. I've done the whole
Okay,
set.
perfect,
I need
great.
I need the forking stuff and the discovery.
Hmm.
I think from this game.
Yeah, well, this game had a ton of text. I mean, this was really instructive. So good game. Congratulations on getting the win. It was well deserved in the long run.
That was my brain is so busted right now.
Yeah,
It's
mine is